Hey guys, this is Traz, and I'm still at it on this thing, but I have the lower section finished, and this is actually my well, I did like half of a test, but this is my first test, and this isn't the only level. Threw down more TNT, but I made sure it wouldn't all fall at the same time because I don't want it flying down there. Right now I don't have the walls up to protect that stuff. Yeah. Yeah, that's better than punching it all. Though I did have to build half that. Just the snow and stuff. And I don't have it on yet. Alright. So far so good. I accidentally blew up some pistons a little while ago. Oops. TNT falling down the side of it and blowing up half my stuff. All the way out, and... sweet. Good to go. One thing I thought about is, I could make it even faster if, well, this goes all the way up, and it only detects when that last block comes up, and waits for it then, when it could actually go before that, but I'd have to have something detect when a block gets here. So, and I can't really do that, because they're kind of being, stuck back to back with another one, or another one of these, or however you want to do it in the future. But, mostly just, it'll fit back of this, like this side here, will fit in, right here. So right alongside here. It'll fit right in there. And it'll fit in perfectly. Same width and everything. Blow it up all I want. So it has to go all the way to the end here, and I can't really put a block detector here because that whole unit will be right here, and this redstone wiring's down here, so that's okay. That would only free up a little bit of time. And this only has one more layer to finish. And fix TNT ghosts my butt there in this patch. Let's stand on it. Coming up. Oh. And done. Yep, done. Reset the last row into position. These blocks at the back are telling this when a block is being pushed out. So, alright, this unit's done. Put it in with that. Then I could probably stick it into that now, but, well, I'll make sure I have the main circuit set and see what else I need to do. Did I have TNT fly over here? When did that happen? I had something fly over here at some point. Oops. Well, okay, whatever. I'll, yeah, okay. Okay. This is new behavior. So I turned this thing on. Well, I copied it over here. And I was wondering why the this part wasn't working. Well, it's just sitting here. The MC edited lava. It's not flowing that way and becoming cobblestone. It's really strange. Oh, crap. What the heck? Is this flowing lava? What is this? Oh, I bet that's what it is. That is strange. Let's try pouring the liquid up. Ooh, it just... Okay, well, now it's gonna work. But that was weird. Never seen it before. Let's see if it does it on this end. Does the third block in seem to regenerate? Or generate? Let's see. Alright. Okay, I have to keep an eye on that. A little loud. Anyway, this all works, but I'm having some trouble with the main circuits, so I got all this set. So this wall will regenerate, but it still does the lagginess because all of them are going off at once. And I'm gonna... What I just need to work on now is just one at a time. It'll steadily... Well, I'll show you in the back in a second. Right now, all I have plugged in now is just a really long thing activating them all. So here's the lower one, and this is what I ended up with. It worked out a way to make all the torches get activated nice and quick, with the least amount of ticks possible, so I could fit it in the timing, the same timing that those four have. So much blinking lights. These over here are the pulse detectors, are the, well, yeah, the signal detectors. Like, when that goes, these will stop for a moment while this works its way up, or like, while this one works its way out. See, these will stop for... Well, maybe not. Maybe because I'm... Yeah, see, it stopped there for a second. I got the timing too well now. Oops. Ah, great. Now the piston arm is stuck there. So there's no block being pushed into the thing. There, that'll reset it. And then these are still working the same. Something's wrong. Something's seriously wrong. That shouldn't be happening. What did I do? Look at that. There's a block missing. See, whenever I try to record something, I have a block missing, and then... Oh, you know what it is? I broke those when... Ah, jeez. When I went into MC Edit and put these out here, I converted all the smooth stone to obsidian, which... This was also smooth stone, so I had to move those, and the ones under here... I used a little creeper face stone, and I broke that so I could put these in without it pushing on me all the time. But I missed one, and it's, of course, it's the example I was about to show. Alright, cool. Alright, so I got one more thing I need to add that I want to add to this whole thing to make it almost lag free. It'll at least clear it up, clean it up for anybody who just can't handle this redstone going off. I have one wire, this bedrock wire here, just running to each of the sections, activating the main pulse for each of them here. Yeah. And this one I've started work on. I gotta turn that off in a second. I'm working on a wire that what it's gonna do is, like, right now, those are like in a scan mode. So each one, the wall is constantly going off, and that's basically a scan mode, and it's constantly checking to see if there is any blocks missing. And when it finds one, we have so when it finds a block missing, these torches are constantly going off. When it finds a block missing, I hit it right at the exact point. It regenerates and pushes into place the next one, and finds several blocks missing. I'll keep pushing those out until it pushes up. And this piston is obviously detecting that this one's going off. There's only one block left, and that's fully complete. So now it just goes into a scan mode. And what I'm going to do is use that so that when I'm going to set up a circuit that detects when it's fully regenerated, and these have stopped moving, like, at all. So it's going to have to detect like two pulses, and then have a reset when this goes off or something. Well, I guess if it pulses twice, if this pulses twice in a row, I'm thinking, if this manages to pulse twice in a row, then it'll, like, send a pulse to the next one. Or actually, it's just going to go through and scan each one. But if this goes off, if the detector goes off, then it'll stop the circuit from moving on for any farther, stop it from going to the next section, and enter the regeneration mode. And it'll start, fully regenerating itself. And then when it's done with that, it's only going to do the one section at a time. It's going to send a pulse on to the next one. I'll have an ultimate pulse at the beginning here. This one right here. It takes about 8 ticks to go through an entire unit. So it'll send like an 8-tick pulse, and it'll hit this one, and then try to go on, I guess with a delay. I've put the delay up here, but I'll probably move it back down here because I'm going to cut the wire. If this goes off, then, like, if that goes off, it's going to stop the signal and just deaden it, and then it'll activate that to start going off. And then this will pretty much go off every other time it does a push. Well, it goes constantly. When it doesn't go, it's only allows that to go through once. So I'm gonna have to allow. I don't know if I make any sense. It only allowed it through one time. That allowed it through one time, and now at 2 times, it's going to start the next. It's going to continue on the scan mode. So it'll be like one giant clock, which might be bad. I don't know yet. We shall see. Actually, it might not be too bad, because if I have something that changes the signal from on because it detected that this was able to push once, then it'll turn off when this actually gets through twice. And then when that happens, that'll shut that off. That shouldn't be too bad for a clock. So, but when it detects it goes through twice, it'll go down to the next one, and it'll repeat the cycle. It'll check, it'll send a signal through this, and if this manages to go off, then it'll stop the signal and do a regeneration, and then until 2 ticks of this get through. And when that happens, or 2 pulses of this get through, and when that happens, it's going to continue on with a new 8-tick pulse or whatever. And then if it comes through here and this one doesn't go off, let's see. If this one doesn't go off, then it'll continue through with the same pulse without stopping the signal. And then it'll do the same thing here, same thing there, and then it'll hit the top. White wire is kind of what I've started messing with here. When it comes up here, it's going to go down. It's going to go back and repeat itself. Now, that is a bit much. I don't know if I want it to go through all 4, want it to, like, all 12. 4, 8, 12, 16, all 16 as one thing, so that only ever 1 unit's regenerating. And the scan, like when these torches are flicking on and then off, it only does that to 1 section at a time. And I'm going to make the signal, well, it's 8 ticks. So it'll go all the like right now the torches are going on and then they'll start going off, so that's extra torch movement. And what that's 8-tick thing is going to do is going to turn all these on, and then it'll come through, and then the pulse will go off after 8 ticks, and then it'll turn all these off as one layer at a time. So like the most torches that'll ever be on is like this block powers this block, which is these section of torches here. So 3 torches here, and there, and then for all the sections. So that's like the worst it could happen, because right now all these are turning on, while these are turning on or off or whatever reverse. Let's see, those are turning off. These repeaters are turning off as those are turning on. So that, yeah. So that does add that, it'll reduce the lag more by having a slower thing, and it'll go through, do the 8-tick of that, then go through this one, and then it'll stop if it detects that moves, and then it'll do it and regenerate, and then it'll go through, and then it'll just send the signal back off and continue on. So that's the idea I had for cutting it back to the lag almost to nothing. Maybe. Well, like, I'm getting a little frame rate on my own here. That'd be because of fraps, but this right now is wired into right here after the pulse. So it's gonna ignore the pulse. So, oh, I just sent it the wrong way. Well, whatever. So it's gonna turn on, and then it'll turn off. And that's not too bad. And the signal just came back through. So yes, I accidentally hit the torch there, and it sent it off up there, and it checked all those, then it came back down. And I'm kind of working on the reset down here to send the original pulse. Well, the on switch. Like, this is going to have to be an on switch to have the wall regenerating or not. Yeah. It's just complicated. It's got more complicated than I thought this part would be. But I did get all this done. The bud switch. Actually, the bud switch is working differently on this one than it is on that one. For this one, the bud works. and then it resets when this turns off. So the reset for the bud switch that's supposed to just turn it off and detect when this actually moves again, like it does up there, but this actually just turns off when this goes off. That might make things tricky for detecting and activating the whole system for that unit and make it different a bit, even more than it already is. Oh well. I'll figure it out. There should be something. I'll just turn the pulse into a solid wire signal. Oh, alright. Well, let's see what I can do. See if I can do all that. It might work out. Okay. Alright. I'll get to that. Okay. This was not easy to figure out. I'm getting into some complicated stuff here. Alright. So, I need something to detect 2 pulses from, like, here. And I needed something that can either tell if it's alternating. Let's see. Something that's alternating between that. And something to tell, and then it'll also tell when just this is done twice in a row. And when it is, it'll continue the signal on. So, I have this. This should work. This is complicated stuff. Let's say that's the bottom layer that got pushed. And then, but the bud switch went off. So that piston at the end there didn't go off. But, let's say this went twice in a row. The bottom level. There it is. It's already reset too. So, it's already reset too. That saved me another headache. I was trying to think about, like, man, it'll have to come around to reset, but it resets itself after it does it once. This is great. I found this on Seth Bling's channel. He did a little Redstone circuitry guide, like, I don't know, a month ago or something. And this was on there, and I remember seeing that, and I'm like, I need a sequential counter thing, I guess, to detect 2 signals. And I could just have the other signal go into the reset. And that's what I did. And I figured out I only needed 1 count, and then, like, the first count won't go through this 4-tick repeater here. But the second one will. And I had it come around and reset itself at the end. Instead of having it reset itself wherever I was thinking. Well, I mean, it self-resets just because I put that there, so I did do that. But this should work. And I'll figure out how to put that now. That turned out a lot smaller than I thought. It's mostly just running the wire all over the place. All this white wool crisscrossing each other here. Fun stuff. Yep, here we go. Oh man, you gotta love it when things come together. Let's see. This, so far so good. Oops, what am I looking at? I'm looking at the wrong thing. So let's pretend this piston is the next section up there. And we don't want it to go up there because there's a block missing. And this is the signal pulse that's coming through. it didn't go through because there's a block missing. Oops. Do that one more time, and then it'll be regenerated. Actually, I'm going to have another type of circuit do it instead of me just hitting a button. That'll just still do it one more time. Oh, nope, it went through. Oh, because the... Oh, sweet. That went off. So, the pulse went on. Sweet. Actually, this needs to be reset. And now I gotta stare at these wires a bit more and figure out what I'm gonna have to add in next to this to make it work perfectly. Okay, this jumbled mess of wiring. Well, I put it all together what I think should work. And I have this on. Let's turn that off. Okay. Now that should send the pulse. And let's break some blocks. There we go. And it didn't work. Oh well, I will just have to find out what didn't work. But I figured. I mean, I kind of threw it all together, and I mean, it should work in my head. There's like 8 different steps, but it didn't, so we'll see. This is not on. Why is that not on? Oh right, I just lined it into that. Wait a second. What? Wait, what? Wait. Oh hey look, I ran out of power. Duh. Okay, maybe it'll work now. Yeah, it doesn't hurt. I'll probably be able to condense all this after I work with it a bit. Get to turn it off again, and on. It's doing something, and it stopped. And here we go again.